as the lights are counting down now. There are 10 lights. They are out, and we are away. Looks like a relatively good start from Kevin, and he's screeched well clear of Golden Egg Fryer. As further back, Zaki's Beast looks to have had a good start. He's already made up a couple of positions. I can see as there's a yellow flag already. Who's that that's gone? I think that's Hicklin has had a bit of an off, as Josh has also lost a position, but so far a relatively clean start as Barlow and Ale are battling it out in P5.
Oh, Hicklin's around the outside of the McLaren. Oh, Hicklin's off the track.
Oh,
he's still not on the track.
Not got the best run whatsoever through those corners. He's don't know whether he's picking up a slight bit of damage maybe, but yeah, not a good start from Hicklin and not a good start for Andrew and Evo. They definitely got caught up in something in turn 1, and that's meant that they've lost a bit of time to all of the soft runners, of course, bar Hicklin. But up the front, Kevin has some really good pace at the moment. He's already put a second to Golden Egg Fryer, so looking very, very good at the moment is Kevin.
Yeah, seems to have instantly converted that quali pace into race pace, doesn't he? I mean, I haven't even finished the first lap, and he's already out of DRS, so it'll be interesting to see if he can keep that gap, or see if Golden Egg starts to try and push to get back inside.
And at the moment, I'm looking, and someone, QBR Josh, has dropped off the pace of P7. I wonder whether he's picking up a little bit of damage. He looks quite slow at the moment. He's using a lot of time in the corners, and at the moment, is staying out, but he's 2 seconds behind Zaki's Beast in P7, so that is a disastrous start for the Alfa Romeo driver, and a disastrous start for Jack behind as well, as he's quite far behind the rest of the pack.
Seems to already be quite a good battle shaping up for P3 here. We've got Scott Barlow just behind Ali just behind Charlie just behind Leah, and so on and so forth, so it'll be very interesting to see the way that this shapes out.
Indeed it does. Indeed it does. And Ale's in a bit of an Aston Martin sandwich at the moment. So Ale could definitely find himself being boxed in by the two Aston Martins. Charlie doing quite a decent job at the moment of hanging on to Leah and Golden Egg Fryer. As I say that, he has a bit of a back end loss from the hairpin, and Barlow certainly looks pretty racy behind Ale, as Ale's drained quite a lot of his battery at the moment. Further up, it looks like Golden Egg Fryer settled into the race a bit, and he's got back in within the DRS of Kevin. So this is quite a big train here, all the way from P1 to P7 at the moment, and could definitely be a close race, which is what we all want.
Interesting as well, Golden Egg has used a bit of his DRS, but certainly hasn't drained it to get back in the DRS 1 second there. So not as Kevin's not as far ahead on the pace as we maybe first expected from the first lap.
As Josh has gone into the pits, and as suspected, he has sustained damage. So that is why QBR Josh has pulled him to the pits, and why he was a bit lower on the pace. But yeah, I think this is definitely going to be a really good race for the win here. Kevin and Golden Egg Fryer, neither of them have used that much of their battery. They're both managing it well. Oh, there's yellow flag, and that is Barlow. And Barlow has spun in the S's. Don't know whether he made contact with anyone or whether he just lost it by himself. But SLR Barlow has dropped down to P10, and hopefully he's not sustained any damage as well. Oh, he has. He has sustained damage. He's lost his entire front winglet. So SLR Barlow is in real trouble.
So looking like a four-way fight for, five-way fight for the win at the moment, isn't it? Zaki's Beast obviously just outside the DRS. Be interesting to see if he can get in amongst the fight there, and then I think we're going to be looking at undercuts, aren't we? What do you think could be the earliest undercut? Who is likeliest to go for it?
Oh, I mean, I'd probably say my guess would probably be about lap 8-ish. For the absolute earliest undercut, but I personally always prefer to pit lap 9 or 10 here. Yeah. Because in those laps you have a lot better tyres for the end of the race. As looking at this, Golden Egg Fryer just has a DRS on Kevin. He lost about half a tenth of a second that lap, but he has the DRS, and here we are. We have our DRS train.
certainly do. Got quite lucky there as well. He was ahead into the detection zone, but he was actually about 1.1 second on the final corner. So it's all about just getting within that DRS zone at the exact right moment, isn't it? And then obviously then gains 4 seconds back at the start of the screen.
Indeed it is. And yeah, he's certainly looking a bit closer this lap as well. It looks like Kevin's quite strong in the second half of the lap, I think, as that is where he is able to pull the gap on Golden Egg Fryer, but Golden Egg Fryer's putting on
nice
pressure now as well. Yeah. And they are starting to gap Leah as well, so both driving very, very well at the moment. Golden Egg Fryer's found a new lease of life. He got P4 last race after his first ever victory in SLR in the race before in Russia, and he's looking quite good again as there's a yellow flag everywhere. And that is Barlow, I think, has had a bit of an off. Coming straight out of the pits after repairing his wing.
Oh no, that's terrible.
And I think Barlow's had a bit of an off, and he's well behind. Let's look at this. Golden Egg Fryer's a lot closer to Kevin. He's 0.6 back this time. It's not even close compared to the previous lap. And you see Golden Egg Fryer, he's getting really nice rotation on his car. You see him, he's quite aggressive on his brakes. You see a little bit of a lock-up, but he controls it very, very well, as you see Kevin ahead, weaving all over the straight to try and break the toe, but Golden Egg Fryer is coming, and he's got a good amount of pace compared to Kevin.
Yeah, this is the challenge here, I feel, for the second place guy, or for anyone trying to make the overtake. You can get up close with the DRS, but then can you keep with them through sector 1? You can see there the split instantly is up and back up to 7/10 coming out of sector 1, so it's extremely difficult to stick behind them for the first sector. So it's that tends to look like the strategy for the overtaker. See how close you can stick to them, and then look at the DRS on the final corner.
Yes, indeed, and there's of course 22 laps to be able to try it, and there's no point really taking too many risks at this stage.
Absolutely.
At the moment though, Golden Egg Fryer is looking a bit more comfortable. He's a little bit more comfortable on the battery, and has that DRS, so he is going to be able to have that luxury of pressuring Kevin a bit, trying to wear down his ERS, and maybe looking good, although Kevin looks to have quite a good run to spoon that lap.
He has, yeah.
As there's a yellow flag in sector 1, and that is QBR Josh has had an off. He's got dirt all over his tyres, and, well, I mean, I do feel really sorry for these three guys at the back, because they've got damage very, very early on, and they have not had a good start to this race at all. And
yeah, it's praying for a safety car, isn't it? Praying for a safety car at that point. It's quite an interesting battle for P3 here as well. Charlie was within 0.3 here, coming out with Spoon, but he seems to have lost that. But then you've got Ali just 0.3 behind Charlie as well, so I think the battle for P3 is shaping up quite nicely here.
Yeah, and look at this with all three of them. They've all got worse ERS management than the top two. So definitely could be interesting once one or two of them run out of ERS, as there'll be a sitting duck on the straight. But yeah, this battle for P3 is well and truly open. And Speresor for Zach is Beast, who's in the most boring race at the moment.
Although in fairness,
he's in the most boring race in the world.
Absolutely, but in fairness, that is exactly what Zach is Beast wants. He wants a very nice. Well, I mean, I did say earlier top 5 finishes. But yeah, he wants no trouble.
Oh, as Hicklin's out. Hicklin has crashed.
Safety car.
And there is a safety car.
Oh, interesting.
There is a safety car. What do these drivers do? I'd personally say go for mediums.
They've got to, don't they? Do the mediums make it out from here?
I think they do, because they're gonna end up. The safety car's going to end up coming in at the end of lap 8, and that should just about be fine for them.
Maybe just to get lucky as well that the safety car disappear and reappear as well as did happen last night.
But what do these drivers do though? How many of them are going to go mediums? How many are going to go hards? That's the interesting bit. As this plays the guys down the back of the field right into play again, as they can close up. We said they needed a safety car, and that's what they've got. Kevin goes mediums. What does Golden Egg Fryer do behind him? He goes for the mediums as well.
Charlie's out on another
Leah's
set
gone
of
mediums,
softs.
Ali's gone mediums. And Charlie's gone for a
Charlie's
second set of softs. He's gone for the 2 stop.
I think he's thinking that the medium's not going to make the end.
That's incredibly bizarre, because surely you'd go for the mediums anyway, but maybe it's a bit of a misclick and the game's put him on the wrong compound of tyre to what he would have wanted, but...
It makes it very interesting anyway for us, because he's going to obviously want to push through and start getting some, start putting in some lap times on those faster tyres, so hopefully it wasn't an issue with the game, but either way it makes it more of an interesting race because he's going to be fighting through. He's going to want to
is Evo staying out on his halves? Now that is odd. That is very odd, because surely I'd think Evo, if you're Evo, you have a completely free pit stop. Why not take it and put on the faster compound of tyre? Unless he's maybe hoping that these medium runners struggle to make it to the end.
Possibly.
It will be quite tight. It will be quite tight for them, that is one thing I'll say.
Yeah.
Charlie is really banking on a puncture for everyone. Literally everyone in the entire field is what Charlie's banking on. Or banking on them having to stop again. Because if they do have to stop again, then Charlie will be able to get the undercut on them when he eventually boxes for a set of mediums towards the end of the race.
Charlie's actually, what Charlie may be doing is banking on another safety car. If he can have a fast stint on the softs, because I think these medium runners, if there is another safety car in say 10, 13 laps, they'll have to pit again rather than stay out on the mediums, because those mediums aren't going to look very nice by the end of the race, and they will just be setting ducks to softs. But then Charlie would have to be on mediums again, wouldn't he? So.
It's a very interesting dynamic, and it's also very interesting to see how many drivers went for a set of mediums. Because you'd think that surely some people would not know how long the mediums last and would potentially...
I think these mediums will comfortably
just
make the end.
Yeah, I think so as well, especially if Evo decides to box the end of this lap. If I'm Evo, I box the end of this. No, he's staying out still. I was thinking maybe is he staying out so that he doesn't have to go in the pits, or... Yeah, why is he staying out? It's pretty weird. There's no reason whatsoever for Evo to be staying out on those hards. He's going to be so much slower than the rest of the field.
Yeah. Yeah, last night I believe Doty pitted lap 8 for his medium, so considering that they've spent a couple of laps behind the safety car, there shouldn't be that much wear on the mediums. I think these should comfortably get to the end. Which doesn't play well really in Charlie's hands, and it certainly doesn't play well in the Evos either.
Yeah, I am just still completely perplexed at what Evo's strategy is.
It's looking, actually, I think at the same time as well, it's looking just as perplexing what Charlie's strategy is, because he still has to put the mediums on.
Definitely.
He still has to put a set of mediums on, so where you would go from the position he's in now, even if there's a safety car in 10 laps, everyone pits for softs, he's got to put the mediums on. He's going to be the slowest guy there, so I can only assume there's been a mishap with the tyre change button there for Charlie.
Yeah, the Aston Martin of Charlie he's had a bit of a blunder.
Yeah.
But he's going to be quite fun though. He is definitely going to have a lot more pace at the moment, because these are a fresh set of mediums, because he did only do 2 laps on the softs in qualifying. So he is going to be able to have a lot of pace due to the fresh set, but obviously he's going to be very out of position. The safety car is coming in. So it's going to be 19 racing laps plus the time under the safety car for these guys to try and make the end. And let's see how this goes here. How's Kevin going to judge this restart? We've seen he's been quite good through the final sector, and however it's very easy to lose the back end here, as Kevin is still not going. He's going very, very late here as Kevin. And now he has gone. And it looks like he's had a really good restart, as has Leah behind. As Kevin is weaving left and right. Oh, that's going to definitely cause a little bit of something, but seems all fine. As further back, Andrew round the outside of Jack. Can he make the move stick, Andrew? Yes, he can. Yes, he can. Jack backs out, and Andrew takes the position. What a move there from Andrew, around the outside of Jack into turn 1. As there's someone's off. I think that's Kevin. It's Kevin.
Oh.
Kevin's off, and he's hit the wall. He's spun. He's in the middle of the road.
Ali's off.
And there's someone out. Ale's out, and Evo's off as well. And what has gone on here? Ale has crashed. Hicklin has hit him. Kevin has spun on his own accord, completely separate to that. And wow, as Kevin's lost it again. But wowee,
Kevin's having a nightmare here.
Kevin is having a nightmare. But what has gone on there? I mean,
do you think did they collide
chaos.
trying to avoid Kevin, or because I totally missed it? I only saw Kevin sliding.
Maybe. Well, Kevin. What happened with Kevin is he must have had a bit of a twitch on the curb or something because he went off track and was essentially cutting the grass through the end of the S's, and then I saw him rejoin the track, and when he rejoined the track, obviously he was quite compromised and he's had all kinds of a loss of a back end, and
Charlie all over the back of Leah here.
Next
Charlie
thing you know,
looks like
he's
he's going to
off.
go for a move.
And look at that, Andrew and Josh are back in the race, as is Barlow.
And Zach is beast back up
Yeah.
to 4th. So that's exactly what he wanted, just a race where he doesn't get into trouble.
As Evo has pitted, as he did get involved in that incident. And are we going to have any words? Kevin is usually quite active on the chat, so maybe we're going to have a couple of words from Kevin, although it doesn't look like he's got damage and he's stayed out. Cooled down his tyres and should be fine. But now, can Golden Egg Fryer show his pace from the first stint and pull away from Leah, or is Leah stronger on the mediums than the softs? Leah could be spying a race victory here if things go his way, but he's going to have Charlie to contend with.
Yeah, Leah looked like he had his hands full before trying to keep Charlie behind, but he seems to have closed back up to Golden Egg Fryer again a little bit. Charlie's going to want to really make these next few laps count. He really needs to get these moves made to whatever the strategy that he is going for. It's certainly going to need hassling these two, so be interesting to see what happens with them two now as he's draining his ERS trying to catch up with the back of Leah.
Indeed he is, and he's looking really, really racy behind him. And Leah's best option here, if he doesn't quite have the pace to stick behind Golden Egg Fryer in his DRS, what Leah's best option could be here is to allow Charlie to pass him, and then allow Charlie with his pace on the softs to close up to Golden Egg Fryer in P1, and then hopefully that'll mean that he's able to close up to P1 once Charlie pits.
I totally agree. I mean, this Leah fighting with Charlie is not going to do anything other than hamper Leah, really, because Charlie's going to have to pit again. There's absolutely no way Charlie goes.
And look at that, he's used a lot of ERS to defend as well. He's on 40%, and that is not what he needs compared to Golden Egg Fryer.
Yeah, he might be also using that ERS just to keep with Golden Egg as well, though. He was out of the DRS for a second there, so he might be using that ERS to try and catch back up just to stay in contention.
And I'm also having a look for the battle for P4, because at the moment Zach is beating GRT Andrew are pretty locked together. Andrew had a very, very good restart, of course, going around the outside of Jack very, very cleanly. It's a very nice move, actually. And is now pressuring Zach as Beast, and definitely wants to take Zach's P4. This will become a fight for the podium once Charlie has to pit.
You can see all drivers starting to drain their ERS a little bit more. Leah's down to 40%, trying to keep with Golden Egg. It's going to be absolutely vital for him to not lose the DRS to Golden Egg Fryer, because he's going to have Charlie to overtake them otherwise. Yeah,
Charlie, I think he is going to want to try and move, although
they're close.
He seems like he could be close enough into the
He's got a nice exit
chicane,
there,
but he's not quite able to do it. But here we are, using a bit of ERS. Leah's going to use some to defend. Which way is he going to go? Down the inside goes Charlie. Oh, this is going to be quite tight. Oh, they're trying to give each other room, but they make contact. As Golden Egg Fry spun. Golden Egg Fry has spun ahead. He's lost it. He's lost it. Turn 1, and he's dropped all the way down to P7 as Leah keeps the position over Charlie. But wow, this race turns on its head yet again.
I was so busy watching Charlie and Leah, I didn't even notice Golden Egg had spun.
Oh, that is gutting for him.
He's still in there though. I mean, he's down to 7th. He's 1.1 seconds
Yeah.
off Barlow. He
He's got to
can
cool
come
down his
back.
tyres.
Yeah, he can come back.
He's got to cool down his tyres, and he is still on for a top 6 finish. But yeah, he's going to be kicking himself from that. And yeah, it's really unfortunate for Golden Egg Fry. Just really easy to make a mistake and round here, and that's what he's done. Similar kind of thing to what Dorsey did yesterday, actually, when he overtook you.
Yeah.
But Dorsey was able to save it, and unfortunately Golden Egg Fry wasn't.
And Zach is Beast now has slid his way onto a podium through absolute default, which is
he is always there. He's always there. In fact, it's
just
have a look
classic.
at position changes. Position changes. Well, we've got Andrew up 7 and Zach up 5 as well. So Zach a big gainer in this race so far.
Definitely. And again, it's one of those things of just keeping it on the track and keeping it clean. You know, it's staying fully out of trouble. And that's exactly what he's done, and now he's on the podium. So, and is also back in the DRS of Charlie. So this is really shaping up to be a nice battle for first.
Indeed, it is, and Charlie does still look at the moment on his soft to have better pace than Leah. So that is what we want to see as a neutral, to have some battling. But at the moment, Leah controlling things very, very nicely. But I don't particularly want to put the commentator's curse on him, though. We've seen a lot of people lose it, and could quite easily happen to Leah as well.
Still penalty free also, I noticed. You know, 13 laps in and there's no penalties. So doing a very good job of keeping it within track limits, are these guys.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are too terrified of the curves to push the track limits.
I don't blame them. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Charlie's taken 3/10 out of Leah in the last few corners.
Oh, Leah's lost it!
Oh,
no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh my god!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh my god! I can't believe what I just saw. Is that Zach's Beast out yet? Yeah. Oh my god.
That is Zach, Josh,
That
Charlie,
is
all out.
awful.
Leah with...
Oh, where does the avatar go? Oh, you...
He just avoids it, but... Wow. There's a safety car that's been deployed, and
wow.
GRT Andrew is in the lead. And
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say.
I'm speechless.
Oh my god. I've just had Monaco. I've had a McKean Division Monaco flashbacks from last season. Oh
wow. Yeah, I have no words.
And it was, I believe it was Leah who actually lost it, and Leah is the only one that's left in.
Yeah.
I think Leah lost it, and then everyone else collided.
He lost it on the he lost it on the inside of Spoon,
yeah.
and then spun onto the middle of the track.
Yeah.
And Charlie was completely innocent. He tried to avoid. He tried to take the runoff.
Yeah.
Because he was only about a second or so behind Leah. Just went into him, and then, well, there were just 2-3 cars just in the middle of the track, and some of the others managed to avoid. Andrew, Barlow, Golden Egg Fryer, you see there in 1, 2, 3 now.
Yeah.
And some of the others like Josh and Zach couldn't, and they're out. So, wow, that is.
And then there were 7.
Yeah, then there were 7. But
wow. So
as SLR Fempest in the chat has said, content.
he
Yeah,
is
I mean,
not
you
wrong.
could put it that way. You could put it that way, but after all of that, GRT Andrew is in the lead of the race, and Golden Egg Fryer is back in the
Back in
battle.
third, yeah, back in third.
Yeah,
anyone
with his
pitted?
pace in the first stint.
Would anyone pit at this point?
Kevin or Leah, I think, may have had to repair some damage, and he's serving a couple of 5-second time penalties.
And Leah's went in and put some softs on as well, which will make the end of the race as well.
Yeah. But I quite like what Kevin's done, though, more than anything, because Kevin has gone onto a new set of mediums.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a clever move.
I think that's smart from Kevin,
Yeah.
because he's going to have a lot fresher tyres than the other medium runners, so he won't get that level of full-on tyres hitting the cliff. And he also won't get the soft tyre there, because Leah's pitting again.
Yeah, pitting again.
Served his 5-second penalty. And to put on a and to put on a fresh set of mediums as well. I think he'll put on a fresh set of mediums personally.
You think?
It'll be his quality sets of softs and... Oh no, never mind. He's putting on a fresh set of
Yeah, no, the set of softs. He'll comfortably make the end on them softs as well. You're going to be looking at 10 laps, I think, by the time the safety car comes in. So he should be quite racy.
Indeed it is.
And now Barlow and Andrew looking like a 1-2 that out of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, I'm not really quite sure how this has happened.
Yeah.
But, well, I do know how this has happened. Of course, the lack of ghosting in this division, and
yeah, I know that was mentioned earlier as well. I know someone mentioned about ghosting being turned back off actually in Division 1 but that's a prime example.
This is a prime example.
An example of why it needs
why I personally prefer having ghosting on because well, I mean, drivers like not being affected just from their own accord. Like, you don't like to see that in racing.
No,
you just don't like to see drivers just end up involved in a pile-up.
I know.
Like,
and everyone's been part of it as well.
Everyone's
had those moments, haven't they, where they've had that happen to them. And I mean, you've got the likes of Zach is Beast and Charlie in QBR 20, all examples of that happening there, and ultimately from Leah spinning, and Leah's still in the race, and so if he had a ghosted there, everyone else would have been still in the race. So very unfortunate for them. And I mean, the likes of Charlie, well, all three were driving really good races and hadn't made any mistakes. So very unfortunate for them. Another lap? Is there another lap behind the safety car?
Safety car's coming in the pits.
Oh, okay.
And here we are. We're going to get underway, and well, when will this chaos end? I was looking at the restart. Kevin's got a really good restart, and he's suddenly back in this race on those fresh softs. And wow, Kevin could definitely be in with a shot of the victory here, I think. He's going to try and go down the inside of Jack and... No, he's not! He's not. He is gone. He is spun, and he has dropped down to piece, and he is, well, very, very, very good car control there from Kevin to avoid that being a hell of a lot worse, as he has only managed a half spin there, and that's meant that Kevin has only dropped down to P7 and about half a second behind P6. So he is back in this race still.
Still there, yeah. I think the thing is, as long as he can stay at the back of the pack or still attached to the pack, you're in with a shout of any position here, really, aren't you? I feel turn one can be so deceptive, can't it? Because when people are going for overtakes on the inside there, I think with that slightly tighter line, you've got to brake so much earlier than you think you need to, and it's so deceptive for the spin there. And it seems to be what happened when he was on the inside there.
Yeah, that is.
And SLR Jack
is having a
fantastic
Kevin,
race
but he's recovered very, very well. Yeah, he is. He's recovered from mishaps earlier on in this race, and Kevin has already recovered from his spin, and is trying to go around the outside of Leah, and
Leah's got 3 seconds. So.
Leah's got 3 seconds, and Kevin has spun. He tried to hold it up the inside. And yeah, him and Leah made contact, and Kevin is around, so gonna have to catch up all over again. To me, I'm having a look at it back on the stream. I'm not. It's kind of unclear whether Leah left him enough room or not. And Kevin, of course, was confident enough to try and leave his nose in, but ultimately, Kevin has gone round, and Leah's followed him. Leah has followed him. He's lost it in sector 1. And so Leah has dropped down to P7. As look at this, it's all aboard the Barlow train for Peter.
It is. Andrew's done a fantastic job of just getting that immediate gap. Which I think after the safety car, that's the biggest The biggest goal, isn't it, getting out of the DRS and then everyone else can fight for second, because even just fighting's going to gain you a gap whether you're lapping quick or not. Golden Egg Fry is going to want to get the move done on Barlow as quick as he possibly can here.
Indeed he is. At the moment, Andrew is streaking clear and has some really strong race pace, but yeah, Golden Egg Fry, his issue all race has been that exit at the final corner, so he's just got to get that right. And once he does, I think he will be in with a chance of making the move on Barlow, but at this current moment, he's not getting close enough. DRS will be enabled at the end of this lap though.
And Barlow has closed back up to Andrew a little bit there as well. I don't know if maybe that's just through ERS or... But then like...
Barlow's gone! Barlow's gone!
Golden Egg
Fry spun trying to avoid him. And so Jack and Evo
and Golden Egg do donuts. He's got it back on.
And Kevin nearly hits him, but wow, that is...
You just cannot predict what's going to happen in this race at any moment, can you? Oh my god! Right, okay.
My word, I mean.
So we now have, we actually could have that McLaren 1-2 that we were talking about at the start of the race, where we had one of them starting on the hards and one of them starting on the mediums, and now look at where we are.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. You said you wanted content in this race. And we've certainly got it, that's for sure.
The McLaren started on the back row and
it took a while to get going. It took a long while to get going, but now we have seen some content.
Wow, okay. So, SLR Jack, obviously from the greatest SLR team that ever existed, is in P2.
He goes right behind him.
And it'll be interesting to see if Kevin can close up the gap. Kevin clearly has pace, he's just struggling to keep it on the track. So it'll be interesting to see if he can start to close the gap and start fighting for the podium again.
Could he potentially even close up to the win as well, because he's got a lot fresher tyres than Andrew.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't put it past him if he can manage 3 laps without spinning. He did it at the beginning of the race for the first few laps, but ever since that first safety car, he's just been backwards a lot. Oh no! Evo's gone! Evo's gone from P3! Oh, what is this? And he's rejoined the track right in front of Barlow, and...
Barlow's got past, hasn't he? Barlow's gone off, has he?
Yeah, well, Barlow, I think he must have got damage from that, but...
Oh yeah, he's still off the track.
And Golden Egg Fry's going through the both of them, but...
Oh my god.
Yeah, I do feel for Barlow. That was a pretty dodgy rejoin from Evo, and yeah, that has given Barlow... That has definitely given Barlow damage. And moved Golden Egg Fry back onto P4 and Kevin onto the podium.
Yeah. So I think Kevin has been in this race, out this race, in this race, out this race, and now he's back in this race again.
Indeed he is. And Andrew and Jack are going to be wondering what on earth is going on, especially Andrew. Yeah. Andrew's missed all of this and is just currently just sitting in P1 having a fantastic time.
Absolutely.
For potentially his 3rd win in Division 2. Oh, as Kevin picks up a penalty.
3 seconds out, there we go.
But wow, I mean...
Literally, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next?
As I see Evo he's easing off quite a bit, and I think his intentions are quite clear. He is going to concede the position to Barlow. I believe that is what Evo wants to do.
Barlow's in the pits.
As Barlow's gone into the pits, yeah.
For a fresh set of softs, and I'm assuming a new wing, yeah. Wow, okay, so...
And yeah, Evo's waiting for him.
Podium predictions. Who do we dare predict who is going to finish 1, 2, 3 here? Because this can just change at any moment.
And there we are, Evo he's given the position to Barlow as he's realised his mistake and is down in P6. So there's that result. But yes, are these the ending positions? What do you reckon, yes or no?
No, Kevin is closed about a second in the last lap to Jack. However, Kevin has spin allied a couple of times this race, so I feel like Kevin is a good shout, but provided he doesn't come off the track anymore. Yeah, anything can happen, can't it? Anything can happen.
As he set the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah.
I was going to have a look at that lap compared to the last lap of GRT Andrew. 31.5. He's 1.6 seconds quicker on that lap than Andrew.
Yeah.
And his gap is 5 seconds. So if he gets that 1.6 seconds per lap, then by the end of the race, that's about 10 odd seconds in gain on Andrew. So the win's not over for him.
No.
The win is not over. He needs to get past Jack as quickly as he can.
Yeah. If I'm being
and then
honest
chase
as well,
forward and
I think if I was in Jack's position, I would just let him go as well. I don't think that's worth the fight. I think if
the one thing I'd say though with the fight is that if he can keep him behind for as long as possible, Jack, then that's more chance
for the 3
finishing within
seconds.
Kevin's penalty window.
Yeah.
And you try and just be a nuisance as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And you know that even if you have a minor spin and minor tangling together, that they are safe to Golden Egg Fryer.
Yeah. I mean, Jack's pretty much guaranteed the podium here, provided he keeps it on the track for the next 6 laps.
But yeah, if I was engineering Jack here, I'd be on the radio saying just like try and push this for as long as you can, because every lap matters against Kevin.
Yeah.
Is what I would be saying. And if I'm Kevin, I would say, if you can get past Jack now, you can be on for the victory. So here we are. Can he get past Jack now? He's going up the inside of turn 1. Jack turned off his ERS, and I think he just realised that it was a bit of a losing battle there. Kevin had a really nice run out the final chicane, and has claimed the position. So what Jack's got to do here is stay within the DRS of him, and what Kevin's got to do is ignore Jack and try and see if he can get past get past GRT Andrew, sorry.
And Jack's actually done a fantastic job of sticking within the DRS of the first sector there as well, which is primarily really where you would lose all the time. But we're really
yellow flag, and that is Leah has had a bit of an off-through spoon, and I wonder whether he's got some kind of side pod damage from that collision, of course, that knocked out Charlie, Zach, and Josh.
All of the sets are fastest lap. Oh, of course he's on the softs.
Yeah, he's on fresh softs. So he's going to be a bit annoyed, of course, with that collision with Evo, but he's got the fastest lap points, so I guess that's something else that's quite nice for Barlow. Let's look at that. Kevin's already gapped Jack considerably.
Yeah, he has, It's all about
the first 2 sectors alone, he is 1.4 seconds up on Andrew.
Yeah.
So Andrew is going to be biting his fingernails a bit, and look at this though. Look at Andrew's ERS. Andrew is preparing for this. Andrew is definitely preparing for this. He is going to have a lot more to defend than Jack did. As Kevin sets the fastest lap of the race on his medium tyres. That's an impressive pace.
Yeah. I think Andrew will also be considering the penalty as well, as much as Kevin's going to have to close up to 3 seconds, he then needs to gain another 3 seconds. There's 4 laps to go. 6 seconds is a tall ask with an overtake involved in there as well. So I think Andrew, the key for him from here is really just manage the race and manage the risk as well.
Yeah, he's got to keep it. He's got to keep it away from penalties in particular, and he's got to keep it in a straight line. He does have that ERS to defend when he needs it, and it might just be one too many laps for Kevin. But what Kevin's got to do here is just put Andrew under pressure. That's all he can do really. If he puts Andrew under pressure, then he can maybe make him crap, maybe make him make a couple of mistakes, and then all of a sudden that's his position. As he is driving very, very well here, it must be said. He's very, very smooth, very, very consistent, and eating into Andrew's advantage a bit. Didn't gain as much on that lap.
He didn't. No, I was thinking the exact same. Yeah, I think it was about half a second he gained. Although then through the final chicane again, he's really in a rhythm, Kevin, now, isn't he? Seems to be putting in very consistent laps.
Yeah, and he's going to get that gap to Jack, it looks like. But
Yeah.
the question here now is with lap 24, lap 25, lap 26 and lap 27, can Kevin find what I believe he will need 1.5 seconds per lap on Andrew to potentially claim this race victory. If he wants to have a shot, he really needs to get past him either at the end of this lap or at the end of next lap.
Yeah,
that might be quite difficult for him.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if he can get in the DRS this lap. And as long as Andrew's clever as well, if he just keeps him behind for the whole of the lap and then uses his DRS for the start-finish straight, he might be able to keep him behind for a couple more laps as well. So it's just all about his exits out of the final chicane. Jack needs to think as well also about the possible fighting between Kevin and Andrew as well, and hope that Andrew will fight for the position, because I mean it's unlikely now, he's 1.2 seconds off, but if Kevin and Andrew do fight, Jack could capitalise and possibly get back within the 3 seconds of Kevin. So Jack just wants to hope Kevin. Andrew's up for a fight, you know. Yeah, he's very close now, isn't he? He's definitely going to have DRS.
He's 1.3 seconds the gap now, and he's going to maybe be close enough to have a go into the hairpin on this lap, but I think it'll really be the DRS zone onto lap 26. And then that is really the key overtaking zone. Andrew knows that he's just got to keep that position going on to lap 26. If he can do that, then Andrew will win this race, provided he doesn't make any mistakes.
Yeah.
But he's got to be really, really careful here and use that battery wisely. The nerves are definitely going to start to creep in for Andrew.
Yeah, they are.
And Kevin is going to be highly motivated. He's got the quicker tyre, and we've seen in his pace in qualifying, he is a very quick driver. He's found himself a rhythm, but is it enough to be able to maybe have that small little chance of getting past Andrew?
Be interested as well, I think, if Kevin can get past Andrew on the next... Oh, I thought he was going to lose it there. If he can get past Andrew here, he's ultimately got 2 laps to try and pull the 3 second gap, which isn't... it's not impossible.
It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight, but it certainly is possible. So here we are here. The most important 2 corners of this race are right now. Can Andrew get a good enough exit to be able to get that position, keep that position over Kevin? Kevin once again has a brilliant exit out of the final corner, and he has got to dump absolutely everything here. But he's not close enough. He's not close enough. Andrew has the battery, and Kevin, unless he makes a really audacious lunge into turn 1 here, is not going to be close enough to Andrew. So he's now going to find a really, really unorthodox overtaking zone here.
Andrew didn't even use his battery down the back straight there as well. I'm very surprised he didn't. He had it turned on for the beginning of it, but he didn't completely drain it, so he's still got over 50% battery there.
But here we are though, Andrew has a little bit of a wobble through Dunlop, and is Kevin going to potentially get a run through the Degnas? That is what he needs to have any shot at winning this race. Of course, remember, he's got that time penalty, he has to pull 3 seconds, and he's got to try something somewhere. Oh, as he goes very deep into that hairpin, but Andrew is completely unfazed.
I must say, Andrew's doing a fantastic job here, considering the gap that Kevin was gaining, or he's closing. Sorry, he's doing a very, very good job of keeping him behind.
Andrew is a championship winner in WR in, I believe, tier 10, and I think that is showing. That experience is showing at the moment. He is driving very, very well. He's definitely been in this position before, but here we are now. Kevin entering the final lap, and there is nothing to choose between these two. Absolutely nothing.
Kevin's almost certainly going to get him here.
Yeah, can Kevin get this position? Andrew's used quite a bit of his battery. So here we are.
Oh,
Kevin's going to go down the inside into turn 1.
Oh, he's going back at him.
Andrew's going to try and get him back, but he can't do it. So now Kevin, he's just got to hope for one thing and one thing only. Does Andrew have a mistake or two in him on this final lap? He's got the lead on track, which is staggering in and of itself. But now what he's just got to do is just absolutely send it on this final lap. Try and somehow gain this 2 more seconds.
Yeah.
He's pulled a second already in sector 1, so he's certainly going for it.
1.1, it's going up.
And that's what I meant about 2.
Oh, he's
He's lost it. He has lost it. And that means that Andrew is now right behind him again. And he's not trying anything as Andrew. He's not taking any risk whatsoever. And so at the moment, it is going to be Andrew who claims this race victory. But what an ending here.
Oh, Kevin is a lucky boy.
What an ending. We do have a battle on track. And there is basically nothing between these two. And Andrew does potentially want that win on track. He's using a lot of battery. And he has a little bit more than Kevin here. But I think he is just going to tuck in behind him.
Yeah.
As I think he does now know that he's going to cross the line. Kevin's going to win it on track. But Andrew from P11 on the grid has avoided everything and has come the faces and has got the race victory over AWL Kevin. SLR Jack comes home in a podium position as Golden Egg Fries pushing for the fastest lap on his set of softs. So
what a finish.
To see whether he gets that one. But what a finish to that race
that
was.
What a finish.
Golden Egg Fry just got final chicane to go now, and yeah, I mean, he's had a couple of incidents, mistakes himself, but he has come home in P4.
Where did
some very solid
where did
points.
Andrew start? Did Andrew start 11th or 12th? Because I know it was the two.
He started 11th.
11th. What a result!
It's not quite a last to first, but
very...
what a result! Oh, as Evo's lost it up towards the
no!
That is
towards the
incredibly bizarre. He's lost it on the exit of the final. He's hit the wall all the way in the gravel, like in the final corner. That is incredibly bizarre. He had his overtaking gauge when he did, which is weird. But yeah, Evo has crashed right at the death. So that is going to mean that Leah comes home with P6, despite being 1 minute and 42 seconds off the lead. So yeah, I mean, what a weird ending to this race.
Yeah, that was just all over the place, that race. I don't think at any moment could you really guarantee who was going to be first, second, third. Kevin went from the front to the back to the front to the back to the back to the front. Like, he didn't know where he wanted to be in the race, did he? Yeah. Spun from last about 3 times.
Yeah, and I hope another thing. I hope Division 2 has not disappointed you on your first race.
Oh no! Is that David Tanitza? Because that
I think it is.
That looks the absolute double of David Tanitza, Andrew's guide.
I think it actually is.
It's
it actually is
him.
David Tanitza because he is on this game because he has won the esports series before. So that is David Tanitza.
I was going to say.
So it is David Tanitza.
David Tanitza on the podium.
Yeah. As we got our 3 drivers in the party. So how do you want to do the interviews then for the drivers?
How about I do P3 and you do P2 and 1?
Yep, sounds good.
Fantastic.
I get the sense you want to speak to your teammate.
Obviously. So do you guys want to check your boxes?
My box is checked, don't worry about it.
So, SLR Jack, are you alive? Does SLR Jack have a mic?
I think
I tell you what, do you want to take P1 and 2?
He's saying hang on comms, can't find my mic.
But when did you last meet me? That's a good place to start looking.
That's the Alpine Master Strat though.
Yeah. Brilliant. Wonderful. But yeah, we'll start off with Kevin in P2 anyway. So yeah, Kevin, pole to P2, but well, you went up and down that field like a yo-yo, and you've somehow ended up finishing P1 on track, but you are P2 after that 3-second penalty. So how do you feel?
I bought the P1, last the second sector last lap, I was really horrible. Had no ERS, so Andrew had just better pace on the end there. And well, congratulations to you. You got P1. I didn't. I thought just well, let's fight at the back, and then might change my mind and go back at the front a couple times. Strategy wasn't really that well. Yeah, wasn't that special. Just pit on new mediums while I was lost on the safety car. So yeah, that was my pace around there on new mediums. I had the advantage, but still 3 seconds that screwed my race.
Yeah. But I mean, considering everything that happened, finishing P2 is still a very good result.
Yeah, a lot happened. I just didn't know what happened next corner. Jack and was Zach and another guy was out. I didn't know what happened. I almost hit them. Yeah, it was a really weird race. Just Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Chaos. And I think Jack's now got his mic working. I did see. So yeah, Connor. Connor. I mean.
Yeah, I'll take it from you. I'll take it.
Yeah, take it from here.
Jack up the Alpine, you!
Up the Alpine!
Well done, mate. Obviously, congrats on the podium. Talk us through it because, to be honest, you really seem to just keep your nose clean. You didn't get involved in any incidents. It just seemed like a very, complete race for you. Talk us through it.
Yeah, of course. First qualifying, that was awful from qualifying. The start, I mean, I'd say it was average. I was stuck behind one of the Alfa Romeos, which made me lose about 3 seconds. The safety car helped onto the mediums. Next thing I know, just like breezing, just keep trying to keep it clean. 4 cars are out all of a sudden. A very strange way to gain 4 positions, but I'll take it. And after the safety car, obviously 2 other people they just spun. Obviously by I was just sad for them. And just I was in P2. I thought I would maybe kept it in the penalty, like the 3 seconds of Kevin, but he's so quick, and that was potentially the weirdest race I've ever. That's definitely the weirdest race I've ever done. Probably one of the weirdest this division has seen, and maybe this league has seen in a long while. And I'll take it. I'll go P3. I'll definitely take it.
It was absolutely all over the place, to be honest. It was. I mean, Kevin in particular was first, last, first, last, first, last, first. He was absolutely all over the shop, and then the next thing he's back to straight behind you. What was your thoughts when Kevin was closing the gap? Were you kind of thinking, I've got a guaranteed podium here, and I'm not going to risk that, or were you thinking I'm going to try and fight for a position? What were your thoughts in the last few laps?
Of course, I wanted to. Of course, I would have loved to have fought for position. I thought I wasn't as quick as him. He managed to gain like seconds on me in like not even that many laps. I thought so. I was obviously if the battle was there, then I would have obviously taken it to keep the position. Mm-hmm. But he was obviously too quick. I was on the straight. For some reason my setup was actually very slow on the straights. I found myself losing nearly a tenth to the car in front and behind. Like even like on that back straight, it was
Yeah, it was a really complete drive, mate. I think it was a classic case of those just keeping your nose clean, and really just kind of being consistent. So congratulations on the podium, obviously well done. And I'll hand it back over to Sam for the winner interview.
Well, I mean, after all of this, Andrew seemingly from nowhere, you're back with another victory, and well, I mean, I saw your car just snuck through that chaos, and that was enough to get you that victory. So, first of all, how do you feel? Second of all, congratulations on the victory. Third of all, just generally talk us through your race, and especially those last few laps as well, because we thought that because we thought that it was gonna come right down to the wire with you and Kevin with his penalty.
How I feel, well, the answer to that one is lucky to be alive, because for a moment I did think I was going to get collected and all that. Second of all, talking through my race, basically the original plan was to try and start the race on the mediums, which is why I did my final quali lap on the mediums, but obviously just got knocked out. So then obviously, started on the hards and all that, and then basically was actually, managing decent pace on the hards, sticking with some of those on the softs around me and all that, especially towards the end of the soft tyre life cycle. And then obviously first safety car came out, so I went for the mediums, and then gained a couple of places off of the restart because I can't even remember what happened now. Did someone make an attempt on someone's life or something? I don't know.
Multiple attempts on people's lives were made.
I've lost track. I've lost track of what happened.
And then obviously, just as I was about to catch the leading 3 or 4 people, they then decided that their cars were cruise missiles and decided to spontaneously explode. And then, well, as you saw, I was very lucky to dodge all of it. My engineer, who was in the party with me, he was giving me strategy advice and all that again, and he also gave me the setup that I was using. So again, thanks to him. Okay, you can put the gun away now. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. So thanks to him for that one. And basically, as I was saying, I managed to dodge all the carnage ahead of me, and he was surprised that I didn't just try to ghost through them, and I said, mate, it's a Codemasters F1 game. I wouldn't trust the ghosting system as far as I could throw it. So got a bit lucky to avoid all that, and then obviously safety car came out, so he then just said, look, just stay out on your mediums and you should be fine, sort of thing. So that's what I did. And then obviously when Kevin started catching, I saw that he had a 3-second penalty, and I thought, right, if he's catching me that quickly, he's got to be absolutely destroying the overtake button. So I just tried to save as much as I can, because I thought if he caught me with maybe a lap or 2 to go, then I might have enough ERS in hand to try and at least stick within the penalty window if he did overtake me. And well, luckily for me, that actually planned out and got the win. So
yeah, we saw that, and I think we were seeing he was catching you by about 1.5 seconds a lap, and I think if it had gotten you maybe with 2 laps to go, then that might have been quite close at the end. But yeah, your ERS management certainly I think personally won you that race. So congratulations to yourself for that victory. And yeah, that's all we got time for. And well, so basically, the first 7 laps of this race, I was thinking we are going to have a normal one. How wrong I was. Congratulations to all the podium finishers.
Congrats, guys.
Again at 9 p.m. for Division 3. And thank you to Connor for joining me on his comms debut. Could not have picked a weirder race to come over.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Good night.